As of right now, the Houston Astros don't have a backup catcher. Is that catcher Collin Price? Well, he's a Astros prospect. We're going to talk to him next. Thank you for making the Locked On Astros podcast your first listen.
Jainel Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Heisman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chansey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros. We update you joins for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Heisman. Brett Chansey might be joining me later on tonight, but I'm being joined right now by Collin Price. He's an Astros prospect in the at AAA right now. I'll go ahead and introduce you in a second, Collin. But guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to us. Go ahead and make us the first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts, go and check us out. We're the number one Astros podcast out there on the number one podcast network, Locked On. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. If you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. So during this episode, we're going to be talking with Astros catching prospect Collin Price, who is in AAA right now. We're going to talk about his journey to get to where he's at right now. And what does it mean to be a Rule 5 eligible player? And also just everything that goes into becoming a catcher knocking on the door of the big league. So, Collin, thank you for joining us, first of all.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right, so let's go ahead and get the show started. I know the Astros drafted you back in 2022. What was that experience like waiting to hear your name called?
Well, the draft is something that, well, first of all, it's a huge dream. So having that right in front of you as a possibility, something that you've worked so long for is super exciting. And the draft day itself is pretty hectic and pretty crazy because, your agent is trying to do everything they can to get all the information that they can, but it's just so crazy, and a lot of times the teams don't know exactly what they're going to do. So I didn't talk a whole lot with the Astros before the draft, and I was just sitting in my living room with my parents and my girlfriend, and we were just watching the draft, and then all of a sudden my name popped up, and I was like, oh wow, I guess I went. And then I ended up getting the call from the area scout, and he was like, hey man, congratulations, you're an Astros. And I just obviously said thank you so much. And it's a huge honor to be drafted by anybody, and to be drafted by a team like the Astros, who's had so much success in the postseason. I mean, it's a dream come true. So for anybody that has gotten drafted, they know that feeling. And it was a crazy night.
Growing up in Mercer, or I don't know if that's just where you went to college, you weren't a Braves fan growing up, were you?
I'm sorry, I think you cut out there for a second.
Were you a Braves fan growing up?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I was a huge Braves fan. I've lived in Georgia my whole life, a little bit outside of Atlanta. So growing up, I was a huge Braves fan. So that's definitely an adjustment everybody's got to make once they get drafted. But it's really not that hard to make that adjustment once you get employed by them.
Right. So was there a moment in college or early pro ball where you realized I can really do this at a high level?
Man, I think for the most part, you kind of, to get even to college, you have to have the confidence that you can make that happen.
Right.
Because baseball is a sport that just takes so much confidence, and to make it that far, I feel like you have to have that confidence. But then once I think I got in there my freshman year, and I realized like, oh, like I'm really not too far from a lot of these guys that are juniors or seniors, and guys that are going to get drafted this year, or have had a ton of success at this school in the years past. and you get to your freshman year and you realize, oh, like I'm not that far from these guys. I can get there. And then you just keep working, and I think at some point you just kind of look up, and all of a sudden the college season is over and you have a chance to get drafted. So I can't think of a specific time or a specific moment, but I think it's just kind of like a combination of all the years, and then just kind of realizing, this is a real possibility for me.
Was there a specific pitcher you remember, like, oh man, this guy's going to strike me out? Then you end up hitting a home run against him or something?
Um, Man, I remember my freshman year, we went and played Florida State, and that's when they had Van Eyck. I don't remember his first name, but he threw like 96 or something. And, you can never go into the box thinking this guy's going to strike me out, because
Right.
that's already a recipe for disaster. But I didn't see a whole lot of 96, in high school or in my early days in college. And then we go there and face him, and he was a big draft guy, and I think I went 2 for 3 off of him, and so that was a time where I was like, oh wow, like this guy's nasty. He's a couple years older than me. He's gonna get drafted early this year, and I can hang with him. So that was something that definitely stands out.
All right, awesome answer. So I know, let's go and switch to the Astros, their development. I know that you are in AAA now. How committed are they to analytics, especially when it comes to calling pitches at
Mm.
the AAA level, I guess, throughout the minor league system?
I think they do a very good job with analytics, but not only using the analytics. Uh, the numbers and all the computer stuff is all the complete formula. So you kind of need both, and I think they do a good job with that. Um, when it comes to pitch calling, a lot of the pitch calling they want us to develop on our own. They want us to develop those relationships with the pitchers, how they like to pitch, how they like to attack hitters, and then they want us to develop the game plan to go through the opposing lineup, what they hit well, what they don't hit well, and then kind of mix that in with the pitcher's strengths and weaknesses, and build off of that, because as you move to the big leagues, they don't want to have to hold your hand. So
All right.
I think they do a very good job of making you kind of develop that part of your game, and all the analytics and numbers and stuff are there for you as much as you need them.
That kind of leads me to a question I didn't send to you earlier, but I believe ABS is coming to the major leagues this next year. So, what do you
Hmm.
think about that? I believe that's been in the minor leagues for a little bit. What can we expect to see with the ABS system?
You're probably going to see some really angry pitchers at times and some really upset hitters. It's going to be interesting, because there's always a human aspect of the game, and that's a big part of the game that is going to be getting removed. And man, there are some pitches that when you're hitting and the catcher challenges and it comes out as a strike, you can't believe it, but it is. And so it's just kind of something that people will learn to kind of deal with, and it's just going to be part of the game. But I think at the beginning, you're going to get some angry hitters, angry pitchers, and probably some angry.
Um, does that mean that pitch framing is going away? Or is that going to be a big thing in baseball anymore? Or is pitch framing still going to be a big part of it?
Um, Man, that's a good question, and we kind of talk about that stuff in the locker room all the time. I think there's a part of pitch framing that um, allows pitchers to maybe be more comfortable. Feel like you are more comfortable behind the plate receiving their pitches,
Right.
and so I think that aspect of it is what might keep it in the game, because obviously you're not going to be fooling the ABS system. But I think the more comfortable you can make your pitching staff, I think it's worth it.
Okay. So, guys, we've been kind of talking about Collin about college and the ABS system. When we get back, we're going to talk a little bit about his season, his AAA season, and a little bit about the Rule 5 draft. So, guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Hey, guys, thank you. Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. But for today, we're talking about the World Cup. It's coming back to North America for the first time since 1994. And with 48 teams for the first time ever, it's going to be massive. But let's be honest, getting tickets is usually the hardest part. That's why Game Time app is clutch, finally giving fans a real advantage when it comes to snagging seats. With Game Time, you can track price drops in real time, get alerts when the great seats open up, and even buy tickets when the moment they hit the app. It puts the power back in your hands and makes going to the World Cup realistic instead of impossible, especially because some of the games will be in Houston. You can pull up the app, and the layout makes it so simple to scroll across all the different matchups, even if you don't really know who's playing. Is it Team A versus Team B? You don't really know who it is yet, but still, you get to go watch the World Cup. You get the alerts for teams and matches and make it easy to grab tickets the moment they drop instead of missing out. Take the guesswork out of buying World Cup tickets and every match, concert, or every event with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, download the app, make an account, and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go, Game Time. Hey guys, thank you for making the Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go and subscribe to us. Go and make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts, go and check us out. My name is Eric Heisman. I'm being joined tonight by Astros catching prospect Collin Price. He's on his off-season routine, I guess, try and get ready for the 2026 season. Did you play any type of winter ball?
No, not this year. Last year I got to go and play in the fall league out in Arizona. So, yeah, this was an off season. I got to come home and kind of focus on the small things, I guess.
I guess it's always the small things that kind of help you get better. And I know that 2025 was a great season for you. You played the entire season in AAA, 111 games. You had 18 home runs, 60 RBIs. You had a 235 batting average, but a 757 OPS. So what did you improve upon last season that kind of led to the success?
I think I tried to kind of simplify some things. The game is just so hard, and the way that pitching is progressing, that it gets to the point sometimes you're trying to do a little bit too much. And I think this past off season, I tried to really hone in on some stuff that I thought I could improve on and some things I could simplify. And I think that approach helped me, just be a little bit more consistent than I have been in the past.
With that in mind, I know that the Astros had to add some players to the 40-man roster ahead of the Rule 5 deadline to protect them. I know the draft is going to be next week at the winter meetings, and I know that you are unprotected. You are a catcher that had a full season at AAA, the 18 home runs. A team could say, hey, we need a backup catcher. We need a catcher. Let's go and try this Collin Price kid, and let's see what happens. What is it like to be unprotected for the Rule 5 draft?
It's kind of crazy because it's just another one of the things in this game that you don't have much control over. It's kind of like going through the draft all over again. You don't really have any idea what to expect. Sometimes you hear that there's a chance you will go. Other times you hear that you're probably not going to go anywhere. I think it's just another one of those things that for me, my faith is very strong. So just having a lot of faith and trusting God's plan that, what happens, and it's really out of my control. And as much as I would hate to leave all these guys that I've come up through the system with, and these coaches that I've been with, sometimes, man, this game takes you all kinds of places. So it's definitely very interesting as a player to not know if you're going to be going back to the same spring training that you've been to and that you've known for your entire career. But there's also a part of it that's exciting and could potentially be something fresh. So um, yeah, we'll just kind of see what happens moving forward. Just trust in God's plan and going from there.
That's awesome. I mean, I know that we always hear about players possibly getting drafted, but we actually get to talk to somebody that potentially, we hope that you don't go anywhere, but you never know. It's kind of a gamble. So speaking of kind of going elsewhere, I know that you had the experience of getting to catch a lot of players going down for rehab assignments. So you get to probably have caught a lot of Astros pitchers. What's the most exciting player that you're like, the pitcher that went down to AAA? You're like, man, is this really this guy? Am I really catching him?
Let's see. I mean, one time that was very, very cool was last year, but I was actually playing first base, so I didn't get to catch him. But it was when Justin Verlander came. I was in Double A with Corpus Christi, and he came to throw a rehab assignment with us. So I wasn't catching him, but I was at first base, which is, I mean, it's kind of nerve wracking because if you get a ball hit to you, you better make the play because it's Justin Verlander on the mound and he doesn't want to throw any extra pitches that he doesn't have to, especially in a rehab assignment. So that was something that was just it's crazy to be on the same field and be playing behind future Hall of Famers. That's crazy. This year I got to catch McCullers, which was super cool. Obviously, everything he's done with the Astros, and so to have him come down through a couple rehab assignments and spend some time with us was something that was pretty cool.
As you progress your way up through the Astros farm system, has there been a pitcher that you've kind of traveled up with and you've kind of developed a pretty good relationship with?
Oh man. I mean, of course, like I've come up with all the guys that I've come up with, Trey Dombrowski, Mike Knorr, AJ Blueball, Logan Van Way. Let's see who else. I don't want to miss anybody because I love them all and they're all my and they're all my boys. It is a ton of fun seeing how much we've all changed and how much we've worked to become so much better, to go from just college kids that have no idea what's going on to now being on the brink of debuting, or some of those guys have debuted. All those guys, the pitcher catcher relationship is something that is very special, um, and to be able to work together at every level and to get where we are now is something that's pretty special.
That's awesome. I can imagine the I guess the brothership that you develop with these pitchers coming up. So when we come back, I do want to ask you about how do you balance like trying to work on your offensive game versus working on your catching game. We'll go and talk about that when we come back. But guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go and subscribe to us. Go and make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Go and check us out. Hey guys, let's go and talk about FanDuel. FanDuel is an awesome app that you can download on your phone. It's just so exciting. Like you want to watch the Texans, well, you can watch it and have some fun doing it. You can go ahead and put some money down on it, and you can it's just makes the game more exciting. Like who wants to put some money on the Texans winning against the Chiefs this weekend? I mean, of course, the Texans are the favorites. That's what the negatives numbers means with the Chiefs, right? I think. No. But it looks like a lot of the money is being put towards the Texans right now. So a lot of people are trying to bet on the underdogs. If you want to join the action, go ahead and try FanDuel. You can place bets as the action unfolds, every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift and the receiver gets hit or hot and the defense tightens up, or when the momentum flips after a turnover and the quarterback gets sacked. Whatever the story is, that's what FanDuel is good for. It's not just for the beginning of the game. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit fanduel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, so can you. Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go and subscribe to us. Go and make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, go and check us out. My name is Eric Heisman. I'm being joined by Collin Price, the catcher in the Astros farm system. And before the break, I did want to ask you a question. How do you balance like trying to prepare to face the hitter that you're going to face that night versus catch the pitcher you're going to catch that night?
Um, well, to me, I have to hit also, so I know what it's like and how hard hitting can be. And so a lot of times I like to go more off of the pitcher's strengths and what they're good at, and then kind of put that up to how that applies to the other hitters. I think, pitchers nowadays, their stuff is just so good that if they execute the way that they know how, they will dominate almost every hitter, surely enough to get a win. So I like to really go off what the pitcher feels best with, what they like to get batters out with, what they feel good getting ground balls with, and then obviously when you're playing catch before the game, when you move to the bullpen, you can kind of see how they're feeling with certain stuff, communicate with them, and if it's the same game plan, then that's perfect. And then, oftentimes people don't feel so good with certain pitches that they're used to feeling great with. So then you got to adjust and just kind of go work on the fly. But yeah, I like to go based more off the pitcher's strengths and then um, look into the hitters and see what they're great with, what maybe we should stay away from with certain guys. But man, that's a very fun part of the game of trying to navigate all the information that comes along with the game plan.
It's a cat and mouse. It's just
Yeah.
excitement of baseball, just trying to keep everybody off their toes. So,
Yep.
um, so I know that the Astros currently don't have a backup catcher as of right now. Cesar Salazar is the likely guy to take that unless the Astros go out and sign somebody or make a trade. Are you invited to spring training, by the way?
We haven't found out yet.
Okay.
So we should be finding out here shortly.
Okay. All right. So what do you think? Do you think that A, you'll get invited, and B, what do you think you need to do for you to get on the Astros radar to possibly be that backup catcher this spring
Mhm.
training?
Yeah, I do think I'll get invited. I went last year and it was a ton of fun. It's always great working with those guys and meeting all of them. Um, Man, I think there's really, again, it's like another thing in baseball that's out of your control. And so it's something that it's best to not think about it and play as hard as you can, no matter
Right.
what. Do what you do. and then hopefully your numbers will speak for themselves. I mean, um, I love those guys that are up there, and so I wish nothing but the best for them as well. And as the season goes along, you just kind of keep your head down, keep grinding, working as hard as you can, put up the best numbers that you can, and then again, what happens happens. It's God's plan, so it's really out of your control.
That's the best answer. Has there been somebody in the Astros organization, it could be a coach, a big league player during spring training? Has there been somebody that kind of mentored you and said, "Hey, Colin, let me help you out a little bit. Let me help you get to where you want to be"?
Yeah. When you're young, I think it's especially the guys that have kind of been in minor league ball for a while that help you out, even if it's a guy that's a different position. I don't really think that matters. I think having them to kind of lead you along the way of what it's like to live the minor league life is important. And then, of course, as you go, I've had great hitting coaches. Like Bobby Bell has been awesome. He was my hitting coach in Double A. He's awesome. Another great guy that is a great coach, but also understands what this life is like and how sometimes you just need somebody to kind of settle you down and bring you back to earth so you don't start freaking out too early. You go 0 for 3 one night. You don't need to go changing all your mechanics. Um, uh, and then catching coordinator, MT Michael Thomas. He's our catching coordinator, and he's been the guy that's been there since I was here. And so having a familiar face like that um, continues to work with you and knows you and know where you've come from and kind of where you want to go, I think is really important. It's been awesome having him. There are so many coaches. I mean, Mickey Story, the manager in AAA, is awesome. Having him be the guy that's leading you as you're one step away is amazing. He's a great manager. Um, uh, Sudi, the infield coach in AAA, he's awesome. He's helped me so much at first base. I can't even describe it. There's guys almost at every level that I can name, and it definitely takes a team to get you to this point and to move forward.
Right.
I mean, even the guys that I spend time with now in the off season, the coaches and the players. I mean, without them, I would have no chance. And so there's honestly too many people to name to even describe how I've gotten to where I'm at.
That's awesome. It's always good to hear who's kind of helped them, and I'm sure your parents along the way, and
Oh,
other
of
high school
course.
coaches, little league coaches, all that too. So, but let's go and do a little bit of rapid fire. Let's just go and see if you can answer these questions pretty quickly. What's your pregame routine? Do you have any superstitions?
um, not anything crazy. Sometimes I'll make sure that I have the same batting gloves I had the night before, or sometimes I'll make sure that I switch out the batting gloves that I had the night before. A lot of times I'll try to get something maybe like a PBJ, usually some pre-workout. I'll go in the gym, work with our strength coach. That's awesome. Get a quick, small little lift in and get my body going, and then head out there, start doing all our catching drills, and then it's pretty much time to go.
If you weren't a catcher, what position would you like to play?
Ooh, I love first base, but if it was a position that I don't ever get to play now, I think shortstop. I think shortstop is sick. I think the plays that you get to try to make um, are super fun and super exciting.
So, could you make the plays like Carlos Correa can and Jeremy Pena, I guess?
Maybe if they took me under their wing for about 3 years, I could hopefully make them at least proud.
What's your favorite ballpark you've played in so far?
Ooh, well, we played the exhibition game at Daikin, which was awesome. So that was the first time I've actually played in a big league stadium. That was super, super fun. I think um, maybe Tacoma was awesome. Tacoma's beautiful, but stadium, shoot, probably maybe Vegas or Salt Lake. Salt Lake is unbelievable too.
You've kind of already answered this, but do you have go to a post game? Oh, this is post game. Sorry, post game meal or snack that you have after a game.
Not necessarily a go-to. Usually they have, they always provide us with pretty good meals. So I usually crush those. If not, on our way home we might stop out. There's a Canes there. Sometimes we might roll into Canes, or there's In-N-Out, and we don't have In-N-Out here in Georgia. So, being out there sometimes gotta get my In-N-Out fixing.
Yeah, we didn't have In-N-Out until recently, so that's a new thing. This is Whataburger country. But
Yeah. Yeah.
what's a hobby or interest that you have that the fans wouldn't guess?
Ooh, man, I love fishing. I love fishing. I really got into fishing when I was in Corpus with some of my buddies. We just on some of the off days we were like, what do we do? And you're right there at the water. So we started going fishing, and um then I kind of started just keep it going. And now at home we have a lake nearby, and so I'll go out there and fish. I got my girlfriend into it, so we'll go we'll go Bass Pro or something, and she'll pick out her favorite lure that she thinks will work, and we just go out there and try to catch something. A lot of times we catch nothing, but whenever we do catch something, it's worth it. So I love fishing, love going to church with my family, and yeah, watching football on Saturday and Sunday.
Okay. Good answer. If it wasn't Colin Price, sorry, got me saying football, the baseball player, what would it be? Colin Price.
Ooh, ooh, that's a good question. I honestly have no idea. I mean,
You didn't have any backup
uh,
careers?
I mean, I have my degree in marketing, so shout out to Mercer. Thank you, Mercer, for allowing me to get my degree. But I literally have never given it a whole lot of thought of what I do, and hopefully, to be honest, I never have to.
Yeah, I hope so too. So, let's hopefully you make your debut with the Astros and become a regular with the Astros. What's one moment you're hoping that the Astros fans will remember you for?
Um, Man, that's a good question. I think having a great debut is always something that's great. Um, I hope that I would have the opportunity to spend enough time there where the fans would get to know me, and I could help out, the community however I could. I know a lot of the players have a lot of foundations and stuff, which is awesome. So hopefully I'd be able to work with them in some of those and really make a difference for everybody. But I think, how you carry yourself on the field is something that's important. So hopefully people remember me as just being someone that plays hard every game and has my teammates' backs no matter what.
That was a great answer. Well, Colin, thank you for joining us on the Locked On Astros podcast. Can you go and tell them where they can find you on social media?
Sure. I'm on Twitter, Collin, with two L's _ Price with two E's, and then I'm on Instagram, Collin M Price, and that's pretty much all my social media.
All right. Well, good luck in spring training. Hopefully, you go ahead and get that backup job. You'll be competing against a Cesar Salazar, who does have some experience. But you did have a great season, AAA. If some team scoops you up in a Rule 5 draft, it'll be the Astros' loss. But at least that means you'll be playing somewhere in 2026. But once again, thank you for joining the podcast, and you're welcome back whenever. And thank you once again. And guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. We are part of the #1 podcast network out there. We are the #1 Astros podcast, and we will see you later. And go Astros.